My name is Landon Forrest, and today I am joined with a Purdue University flight student who is currently in his second semester. He transferred here recently from Embry-Riddle and is currently working towards his commercial pilot certificate. So thank you for meeting with me today.
For sure.
All right, so first question is going to be, what de-icing and anti-icing equipment are currently used in aviation training at Purdue University?
Okay, so to start off, we pretty much have a very, very primitive way of getting the ice off the wings. Essentially, the only means of defrosting our wings, like exterior, like wing surfaces, are just these big bags of hot water and like a couple towels. Obviously, like inside the plane, there's different like defrosters, but in terms of getting the ice off the wing, that's all Purdue's really rocking with.
Yeah. And when we implement the kind of like the plastic bags for the wings, do we turn on the defroster as well to get any ice off of the windshield?
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
So, I mean, I guess you could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it says anywhere.
Yeah.
Usually people just use the bag on the windshield as well.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So next question: have you faced any challenges with existing de-icing methods during your time as a flight student at Purdue? Can you provide specific examples and how they were resolved?
Yeah. So I've only de-iced a wing one time at Purdue, thankfully. Yeah, just one morning. It wasn't a huge. It was probably like medium layer of frost on the wings. So we got 2 hot water bags, dragged them across, and the main problem I would say with like de-icing the wings is that your towel gets too wet too quick, so it can't sop up all of the water, and then the water that's still on your wing just like refrosts over.
Got it.
So if you drag the hot water over, it melts it. You drag your towel behind it and sop up as much water as you can, but
Yeah.
you need to grab like 5 towels to fully dry your
That makes
wings
sense.
and get the frost off. So
Got it.
it just refrosted on me a couple times. We ended up flying, but it just took like probably 25 minutes off of our block.
Yeah, I've kind of started to notice that, like, with a lot of people, like, with how long it takes, it's been making them late to their flight blocks.
Yeah.
So you'd say that's an issue for you for sure.
You're at like a complete disadvantage if you have a morning flight block at
Yeah,
Purdue,
that
pretty
makes
much.
sense. Okay. And then another issue with that as well was just constant re-icing, just having to go back and redo what you already did. Okay. So, question 3, with recent innovations in de-icing and anti-icing, have you encountered, what recent innovations in de-icing and anti-icing have you encountered in your aviation studies at Purdue? Are there any standout advancements that caught your attention?
So at Purdue, I guess at Purdue, technically there's been nothing that I've really seen. And it's still just like, I mean, our method here works. It's just really, really sucky to the students.
That makes sense.
So I haven't really seen anything here. I guess during my instrument training down at Embry-Riddle, I mean, there was a couple discussion lessons about like anti-icing and de-icing equipment. So I definitely know like what the industry uses. But Purdue doesn't really replicate that, especially since we don't have those planes. Like our planes are primarily training aircraft, so they don't come with any like de-icing or anti-icing equipment. But even like removing ice from a fuselage or a wing surface, that's not really the purpose of that technology anyways. So like we don't really have any like industry technology of de-icing like during a pre-flight for a plane.
Got it. So it's not really during the en route and like, you know, takeoff and landing phases of flight. It's more of just like on the ground. So
Especially since our planes aren't FICI certified.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense. So again, kind of leaning onto that, what improvements are needed in current de-icing technologies for flight training? Are there specific features that could be refined for better performance in modern aviation?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Question here. So pretty much what improvements are needed in current de-icing technologies, and what specific features would you kind of want to see when designing a product?
So I'd definitely I would like to see Purdue implement a little bit more of like an industry technology, not only because it's just going to be a better quality of life for the students, and it doesn't have to be much. Like a simple chemical compound, maybe like, I don't even know what would do it. Maybe just like a salt water or something that's harder to freeze over, that we can just like spray, like a pump bottle, spray it on the wing, wipe it off,
and
good
then
to
go from there.
Isn't gonna refreeze. You can trust it on the ground. That would be super simple. And also, it's like, you're never gonna work at a place that uses bags.
Makes sense.
To de-ice a plane wing.
I have to agree with that.
So like, it's better industry training. It aligns more with like Purdue's curriculum if we actually have something that can replicate the industry we're going into with that. So I would like to see a little bit more technology going into our de-icing in terms of safety, industry preparedness, and like quality of life for the students.
I know both of us are transfer students who have kind of had experience with like different flight schools, different universities. So the fact that Purdue is really the only one that uses the hot bag method is a little dated in my opinion.
I will say, I mean, our flight schools didn't have snow. Right? So we definitely didn't have that problem, but I'm sure UND has a little bit of a more sophisticated method.
Definitely. I'd say, like, honestly, maybe like my group and I should start looking towards UND for stuff as well. So we'll have to look into that. I've already looked into Riddle for sure. They talked about using like a carbon fiber lining on the wing, but that seemed like a more like kind of in-flight thing than on the ground thing.
I have no idea. I haven't heard about that.
Yeah,
that might be just a Cessna thing. Because they've got the Nav 3s.
It was like a master student. It was like his like senior thesis pretty much that he posted about it. So it was like a self-research thing. So kind of talking about like the harmful chemicals, stuff like that, using like maybe a saltwater solution like you said. So regarding environmental impact, do you see any sustainable initiatives or alternative technologies that could be explored in aviation de-icing? And how do you envision balancing effective ice protection with minimizing ecological footprint?
Okay, so in terms of like Purdue's operation, I think the industry in terms of like airlines already have it figured out. Like there's 3 different types of icing solutions that they use for different operations. I'm pretty sure that's working fine, and I probably can't really talk to the new technology for that. But kind of what we were talking about beforehand, like Purdue could easily implement, like make an in-house compound, simple chemicals, non-damaging to the airplane. Really, really simple. Spray it on, wipe it off, no refreeze. That's probably like less of an investment than the wing covers that we're currently thinking about getting. Those wing covers are what, like $750 a plane.
They were pretty expensive.
And if we just mix a chemical compound here, which I know we could do, and it wouldn't affect the environment or the plane's longevity, like.
Then why should we spend so much money on covers?
I mean, there's like obviously a reason we're not doing it.
Fair.
So I don't want to be careful there, but like, I don't know.
No, I understand that.
This is Purdue. We could probably figure it out.
I kind of agree with you on that. The bag seems a little primitive, and then the full wing cover seems a little kind of on the expensive side.
And just like, how useful is that can even be? And also, like, taking those off is also time.
More procedures.
And weight and balancing, like, are we going to be able to put that in the back of the plane? Or are we going to need to store that somewhere?
Leave it on the ramp someplace.
That procedure is going to be, like, super... You're going to have to add a lot of stuff to our operation to do that. So
makes sense. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
For sure.